So you've heard the dazzling sales pitch on deep learning, the technology which seems to have a solution to every problem. And you may be wondering whether this thing actually works in production on the ground. That's what this video is about. We will look at whether big potential translates into business benefits. And we'll look at the 5 pitfalls of deep learning projects. An earlier video covered a simple English introduction to deep learning. In case you haven't seen it, do check it out. So now let's see what happens when the rubber hits the road. Over the past year, there have been several learnings at Gramna AI Labs where we are looking at advances in deep learning and translating them into specific client projects. There have been success stories and there have been challenges as well. So here are the top 5 challenges. Challenge 1 is when expectations are bordering science fiction. AI is becoming a reality. We are seeing self-driving cars, drones delivering pizzas, but many of these work in carefully curated conditions. There's a thin line of separation between what's production ready and what's still a stretch of imagination. In an excitement to get big challenges solved, teams often go deep onto the other side. This is where AI disenchantment can happen and businesses can take several steps backward. What's essential is to do a due diligence on business ready use cases and set the expectations right. It's better to underpromise and overdeliver. Challenge 2 is when sufficient data is not available. Analytics needs data to deliver its magic, and deep learning needs loads of it. Let's take a simple example of face recognition based attendance system. The training data needed here is pictures of employees which can be taken live or uploaded with some variations in terms of orientations, lighting, and facial features like glasses and so on. Imagine thousands of employees, and this in itself becomes a mini project to gather all the data. Project sponsors often assume that all of this data is available, and in reality, despite best efforts, manage to get only partial data. This shortfall in data can actually mean the difference between a successful prototype and something which actually works in production. The third challenge is when data is available but is not labeled. This is perhaps the biggest surprise for clients when they start deep learning projects. For executing prototypes, you can pick data from ImageNet, CIFAR, and such databases which have rich label data. But to run a project, you need to label your own data. This might mean drawing boxes around people, identifying names of individuals, tagging voices, describing actions, and so on. This can be a lot of work. Yes, this is manual low-end work to train deep learning models. But this saves us the much more painful task of feature extraction. So labeling is something which has to be planned for. Challenge 4 is when the cost-benefit trade-off doesn't work out. After spending a lot of effort in collecting data, labeling it, and spending on the GPU computing infrastructure, still there's budget needed for maintenance of these models in production. Put all these together and the cost shoots up, and you may find that it's cheaper to do it manually. Yes, scalability and volume is a benefit of analytics, but not every organization needs it right now. So in some cases, it is better to defer decisions on investment in deep learning until either better algorithms are available or cost of GPU comes down or a combination of factors. So the total cost of ownership is something which needs to be factored in. The fifth and final challenge is pretty interesting. This is where deep learning gets so effective that it creeps out users. When use cases are right and data is available, deep learning can work its charm and get deeper insights, often identifying things that people have not stated. And that's where it crosses into the creepiness zone. Yes, it may be tempting to cross-sell to users even before they state the need for it, or listen into intranet chatter to find out what are the deeper problems employees are facing or how it impacts the organization. But at times, these also raise questions of data privacy. When there's an ethical dilemma, organizations should always try to be on the right side of things and let go of some use cases in spite of the potential it holds. After all, with great powers come greater responsibilities. So that wraps up the 5 stumbling blocks in deep learning projects. To recap, pick use cases which are business ready and check the feasibility. Ensure availability of data and that you can satisfy the appetite of deep learning. Plan for labeling and training data. Balance the cost-benefit trade-off and check the total cost of ownership. And aim to excite the users without creeping them out. That's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time.